Conroe Independent School District Special Education Department can meet your needs by connecting you with potential employees that have been preparing for a lifetime of employment. We have numerous individuals seeking paid and unpaid work experiences. If your company is interested in seeing how we can meet your business needs, call Conroe ISD Special Education Department to find the best employees for you at 936-709-7671.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for being with us on the Cindy Cochran Show. We've got some interesting guests, I got to tell you. They are, and it's something that you would never think I would be sitting here talking about and going like, and asking any questions that sounded intelligent. But
well, this is called the Cindy Cochran Show.
Shut up. And we want to thank our sponsor. I got to ignore him so many times during the show. We want to thank our sponsor, Chris Wootton of the Wootton Financial Group. They've been here over 21 years, and we love that guy. We just love him. He's really good to work with, and he'll let you have a free meeting with him in the beginning, so that you'll know if you like him, he likes you, you want to do this, and he'll give you things that he would maybe suggest. And so he says it's like kicking the tires. Go in there and he'll and it makes you feel more comfortable. And for the widows out there, which I became a widow last year, and I realized I did not know anything because I would not go to the meetings because I thought they'd be too boring. And so I should have been following my husband around everywhere he went to ask him, okay, now where's all the money hidden? No, I should have been asking him, well, how do you do insurance? How do you pay the bills and all that? Because he didn't want me to mess with anything because it would mess up his, he was very systematic. And so anything that I tried to do, he'd go like, you know what, Cindy, I'll take care of this. You just go ahead and go do your thing. So I just want to tell you people that you need to be watching your husband, watching what he does, and learn that stuff. Even though I'm
sure people will love that, especially the husbands.
Yeah, especially the husbands go like, "Who told you need to do that?" Well, it's on the Cindy Cochran Show. She said she didn't. Well, you don't need to get involved. I'll take care of everything. Because I understand why he didn't want me to be, we first got married and he got a checking account and he put my name on it. And so I started writing checks and he went, okay, we're going to have separate checking accounts because you're just about messing up my budget here. And so anyway, that's what we have here. And I'm just giving you some advice. That's all, that little bit of advice before we get into the trees. Well, if we're going to get into the trees today, because Arbor Day is coming up, right? It's not today, is it?
Arbor Day is Saturday from 8 o'clock until noon, and we invite everybody to come to Founders Plaza in historic downtown Conroe to come see the trees, visit with the master gardeners who can give you oodles of information, what to do after this freeze on Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes.
What do you do there? And, of course, we're going to have some naturalists from Jones State Forest, which is also an A&M sponsored organization like the Master Gardeners. And we'll have the city of Conroe out there. We're going to have small seedling trees to potted trees.
And you're giving those to people?
Free to Conroe residents. You can't beat the price tag.
F-R-E-E, free. That's such a good word to know and to have, because we don't get it much nowadays now.
We don't.
But we will. It'll be, not that we're going to start getting things free, but it's going to So everything's going to cost less. I'm hoping, praying. And I was listening to President Trump talk about this now, see, I can't now say
The
it.
reparations?
No, no,
whatever?
the tariffs, and make them
Oh,
reciprocal.
Okay.
Reciprocal.
Reciprocity.
yeah.
Reciprocity. I can't say the word. And he's talking about, I don't think this has ever been done before. So I think this is great. And I'm going like, I know he's read his Bible because he does talk about God, and Jesus, taught that. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. And so it's like tax unto others as you'd have them tax unto you. And so you need to give Jesus some props
credit,
on that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Amen.
Okay. All right. Now we got the religious part out of the way. Now we want to talk about trees. And Barbara, you are the lady.
I'm a
of the
master
hour.
gardener, going to 14 years being a master gardener. I'm a tree specialist, in fact, an extra additional training out of A&M.
Wow.
So I am very, very much focused on trees because that is our life.
That's
With
right.
Oxygen, water, clear everything. And it just makes our lives much more healthier if we have trees, shade,
Right.
Some sun, what
Homes,
have you.
shelter.
That's right. That's right. And also protecting the wildlife
Yes.
as well, making the community a good place to live, very prosperous. So yes, that's what I focus in on, is the tree. So now for 14 years, he and I have been doing Arbor Day together.
Oh.
And we have split off, in a sense, added another city. Willis will have an Arbor Day in a couple of weeks.
Yes, that's where I'm
So,
from.
yes.
Oh, boy.
So we've trained the master gardeners about the trees. They learn. Tomorrow I have 30 of them that are going to be with me that will be bagging these small specialized bare root trees. And then we have the potted trees on Saturday as well. And we'll be teaching people who come up to us saying, we ask them, what do they look for? What do they want? What's their soil like? Is it watery in the front yard where they want to plant it? That sort of thing.
Well, now, Willis is black, the black dirt.
Black clay.
Clay, red clay.
No, it's not clay. I know clay.
Black loam.
What's black? Anyway, my husband gets so upset because he said, you can't dig in this thing. And so, because I
Gumbo.
wanted to do a pool, and he
Gumbo.
goes, gumbo. Okay.
That's
what you're
gumbo
thinking of,
clay.
yes.
Yes. And I wanted to do a pool and go, no, I can't do it. But the trees just grew like crazy, and they sucked up all the water. And he said, the people across us had a pond, and they said, and watch how much water they have to keep putting in there, because I think that water is I don't think they did it correctly, but anyway, he said it's just too hard to. But I just thought that was an excuse because he didn't want to build a pool, or he didn't want to, what about trampoline? Well, the earth, it probably wouldn't bounce right. So anyway, but now we're into spring, and I can't believe it went from 5 acres down to this little, where the houses are so close.
Oh,
But I love the close community, and they take care of their trees. I mean, you don't even do anything. They notice. They'll take a picture of it, and they'll put you up in the it looks like the lineup. So they want to make sure that everything looks nice and keep it nice. And it is great to have those guys out there doing that. Mm-hmm. And my grandson loves them, especially. So he doesn't have to do the lawn and stuff. But it is, I think the trees and the tree hugger, where I come from the 60s, isn't that where the tree huggers started? Yes. Right? So.
You're right.
Yeah.
No parking lots, just trees.
Yes. No parking lots. Yeah, that's right. Very good. But the trees and all the different kinds of trees, like all I ever probably saw was the pine, the pines.
For
and
East Texas, that's right. That's what we have,
Yeah.
that they'll chop down the wood and then put in a pine or something, or they have tree farms around us in the
Right.
outskirts, yeah.
And that's what, and I remember Sam Houston walking out of the pine trees. That scared me to death the first time I saw that. It was in a foggy thing, and there was his statue, Sam Houston, coming out of the fog and the trees. It was crazy. But those are important, and you're right. And I think do the kids understand, like we used to they used to teach us about the trees and teach us about all that. Do you think the kids have an understanding or appreciate the trees that are all cut down immediately?
I don't know what they're learning in school, to be honest with you, under science anymore, but I'm
Yeah.
hoping that they do understand, the birds, the air, the water, all that, all needs to be good, and then things grow, and that's what makes us healthy.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's interesting because you say the trees make us healthy, and of course, then the people that are allergic to the
Then
my
you don't
poor
plant
daughter-
that tree by you, that's why.
I say, and
Or
don't
by
move
the
into a
house there.
place. Yeah, don't move into a place where they're right outside.
That's right, the cedar. That's what people are allergic to,
right,
the cedar.
right. And what is it in the? What is it in the?
It's the seeds and the
It's the
pollen.
pollen.
Yeah.
Allergens.
Okay.
Yes, very much.
Oh man! And in Texas, in April, we go. Everybody. I know we don't wear a mask anymore, but it seems like the pollen and all that come up during April, right? Is that what's the worst?
Springtime. I mean,
It's spring,
life
yes.
comes to alive then.
Everything starts
yes.
pollinating back then.
Right.
Yes, making new vegetation.
It's spring.
It's springtime.
Yeah, it's
right?
copulation time.
Now wait a minute. We can't talk about that on this show. No,
The trees are doing it. The plants are doing it.
no, but I think that it is important, and I think I'm so glad you guys talk about this because I've wondered like, do we have anybody that's out there making sure that we don't become, and have anything like happen to L.A. and the fires that happen, and are we more educated than they are? I think the South.
How
What do you
about
think?
City Council? What's y'all
Well,
doing?
from my perspective, Texans are taking responsibility from past sins when we had those massive forest fires that went
Yes.
through Bastrop. And so there's a lot of communities that started requiring that they have fireproof cladding. Back in 1910 here in Conroe, we had nothing but wood buildings except for 3 brick structures. And the city council was starting to look at fireproof cladding on those wood structures. Well, lo and behold, we had the fire February 21st, 1911, that wiped out 85 buildings. There's a historical marker in the downtown regarding that 3-block fire, and the only 3 brick buildings stood the fire. And so with the proper fire cladding, our friends in California would benefit from that. There are certain types of vegetation that are fire resistant. Loblolly pines are wonderful here in Texas, but they've got a lot of sap and fire fuel.
Which type would be fire resistant?
Well, a Buford holly is what my brother planted around his house, and he had a 40-mile-an-hour wind whip up firestorm through around his house, and no damage to the house at all.
That was in Bastrop?
That was in Amarillo, Texas.
Oh, I thought, oh man.
Yes, so there's grassland
Close.
over there,
Yeah.
and in Bastrop, it was a forest fire. So you have that capability of fire cladding the house and using fire retardant landscaping. Now, we're going to have people from the Jesse Jones Forest from Texas A&M Forestry Service and ask them for the guidance when you're visiting us during Arbor Day on Saturday. And remember, it runs from noontime until, we hope, from 8 a.m. till noontime. But we don't know if it's going to last till noontime because we have thousands of trees to give out, but once we're out of those trees, that's all we have. We're going to have community involvement and presentations by the master gardeners talking about how to plant. You can talk with the Texas A&M Forestry Service about how to provide fire retardant vegetation, and how the Texas A&M Forestry Service provides fire protection inside our state and national forests. And we Texans have learned a lot. I wish other people would.
Yeah, I think we listen better than most people do, right? Isn't that true that we listen? I think it's seeing what happened to L.A. and you go like, I got to go out there and check my trees and make sure there's enough room before, around them.
Yes. Well, and they keep predicting that the big one's coming, the big, massive 8.0 earthquake. And as I said earlier, that's a movie in itself called Shake and Bake.
Oh, yeah, that you're right. You're right. And to have that happen on top of everything else.
I
you
hope
know.
it doesn't happen.
Oh,
I
well,
mean, I think it's opened up their eyes what this is all happening, and they have got to change their lifestyles and learn and go work with the city and the state government to improve their life there, because
Well,
they'll
seemed
fall
like
off
the
into
biggest-
the ocean.
Yeah.
Well, it seemed like the rock was lifted, and you went, "Wait a minute, where's the water? Where'd the water go? We had water. I know we had water. There's water, right? And that they didn't have the water being shifted over to where it should have been shifted over to, and so a lot
Shift
of things.
happens.
Yeah, yes, thank you so much. I gotta watch what you. Anytime he says something like that, just go ahead and poke him. It's fine. But I'm telling you, it did make sense. And when they said that there wasn't any water in the fire hydrants, that just made little kids ask me, why wouldn't they have fire? I said, honey, I don't know. It's California, and they have their own way of doing things. And so, and we'd see pictures of this poor guy with his water hose, and he's trying to put out the fire. It was really sad, and it was eye-opening.
It is going to be for the whole United States, no matter where we are, because of climate change, well, if you want to call it climate change, but there's been more weather that we've experienced in the last decade or so that we all have to be aware of.
Well, sure,
and prepare for.
And see, in Texas, since it changes every 15 minutes, and so when people say, "Do you believe in climate change?" I said, "I live in Texas. Are you kidding me?" I believe in that, and wardrobe change, because your wardrobe has to change every 50 minutes. You don't know what you're going to need to be wearing.
That's why they call it weather, because you don't know whether it's going to be bright and sunny or whether it's
weather's
going to be windy and cold.
I had never thought about that. Let me write that
Weather.
down. Okay, weather.
Whatever.
Whether or not.
But on Saturday, we're down there to answer the questions of the people who come, because they're going to be from these new communities, these new subdivisions. These young couples don't know what to plant. They know that they want something there to provide shade. So
Right.
that's what we, are there to help them for.
I
And
think
have
that
different
is
groups there to talk to them.
that's perfect, because you don't go in a Walmart and ask someone, I need this is going to be the time to go to someone who really is an expert in the
Yeah.
thing and all that.
And gardening is a family affair. I mean, if you want to have something common in a family, you plant, you nurture, you raise, and it's not only the trees, but we have people who are experts at fruit trees and vegetable gardens.
Oh, from Master Gardeners?
Oh, yes.
Oh, we're about 20 categories that we're can be specialists in. So you can come visit us and come to our, community programs that we have on Saturday. Just go to our website and see what's coming up and learn whatever particular item or topic you're interested in.
Right.
That we have
Barbara,
special talks.
if somebody's interested in becoming a master gardener, what do they do?
Every year in September, which Ron came last year, you come to an orientation class, and we outline all that we train you for 2 months, and then in the next 6 months, you're also being trained to work in the different gardens that we have, not just pulling weeds and vegetables, but all different kinds of gardens that we have, and we train you. And then after that, you are a master gardener at the end of the year. You don't have to take a class and pass the test. But you learn every time you go there, a little something. And as I said, I've been in it 14 going on 15 years. And I can't know it all. We can't know everything. That's
Well, and then you get the T-shirt, Master Gardener.
Oh, you buy your T-shirt.
Oh. That makes
But you
sense.
get the pen that I
get a-
showed you. That
yes.
pen, you get the pen.
And that's a cool looking black and brass.
So the color on our pen represents how many years we have been in Master Gardeners. So the first
okay.
5, it's white and green. The second one is kind of like a goldy color, and then the third 5 years is black. So that's what that means. So we can look at each other and tell how
That's
long
awesome.
they've been. Yeah, because we have at least 50 Master Gardener interns every class, every year. We grow. We're about 350.
350.
Not all working out in the gardens. We do all kinds of things. We go out to the community and speak. We help with designing your home or what you're putting in. Like we're having a subdivision that's come to us, and once they had a tornado go through their subdivision last year, what trees can they plant? So there's ladies' garden clubs that want to know about flowers and what have you. There's all kinds of topics out there that we go talk to people, whatever they want. We'll find somebody that's a specialist in that topic.
That's a master of that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been watching TV a lot. Less is this weekend, and they're starting a new series about Garden Society, and it's a comedy, a dark comedy, and because they're talking about I think they have to get rid of one of the people in the Garden Society, or they accidentally got rid of him, and so they buried him in there, and then they put the soil, and they're planting things on it and how good it grows because there's a body under there. But it looked so interesting.
Was that an herb garden?
No, it was
Your
herb.
nice poor herb.
It was herb. It was a herb garden. No, they've been really pushing this, and I thought when we were going to do the Arbor Day, this would be interesting because I didn't realize you did gardening as well as just the trees. It's not just the trees.
You can pick any topic you want to delve into. Mm-hmm. Once you've got your first year under your belt, then you can pick what you want to do.
That's really interesting too. Mm-hmm. Like because when these kids are moving into these houses, now I moved in and the trees were already there. No matter and I didn't know it. I don't know from names. My mother-in-law knew every name, and she was a gardener and had all these beautiful things, and I tried to tell her, I've got a whole row of poor plants that have died, and so I just put them out. I just put them out there, and so don't bring me plants because they'll kill them, and so I had an air fern. And I brought the air fern to, I did the Channel 13 Dialing for Dollars show. Mm-hmm. I interpreted the news for the deaf on that show. So they had all kind of, gardeners and all that come on there. So I brought this air fern, and I handed it to the guy that was there, the gardener. He goes, "What is this?" And I said, "This is an air fern, but it died." And he said, "How could you kill an air fern? It lives on air. Where's this been?" I said, "I put it outside because it was so pitiful looking." And he said, "Can I have this as to show people?" Sometimes it's even possible to kill an air fern. You can be so bad. So I just have an RIP for all my plants out next to my.
No.
And
so you learn along the way what to do and what not to do.
Yes.
And the master gardeners, instead of you having to experience all those problems, they can tell you how to avoid those problems.
Really? You think so? You think
there's always a specialist who's done it, who knows? Yes, with so many of us, yes, we can find somebody that can advise you. Yeah.
Well, there's so many. Like when you go in, you see the little seed packets and stuff, and go like, okay, I'm gonna get one of these. I'm gonna plant them, and that's what we're gonna do. And so I started looking at them, but what I liked mostly were the food plants. And I saw the tomatoes, and I thought, oh, tomatoes would be easy I can plant those. This would be great. So I got them, and in that gumbo, when you start digging in gumbo, you find out that you only have the patience and the strength to maybe go down that far. And so I thought, I wonder if they could survive, and if I'd only got that far, because I was sick of digging. And so I just covered them up. But they're not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be covered up. They have to thrive by, having some sunlight and all that. And I was putting this dark gumbo over them. Anyway, so I learned I just go to the store and buy them. And also, the best way to keep it looking alive is to just wash the dust off the petals of the fake plants that I would get, because that was the only way I could make it look like the greenery. There's greenery there. Yeah. And believe me, I really do appreciate, like on Valentine's Day when everybody gives fresh flowers, and you get the flowers and you smell the flowers, and it's just like so invigorating. Yeah. And so I understand why people sit down and bend over and work in a garden, but I don't know how you do it past 70. I don't understand how you can work in the garden. Do you get a chair? Do you get a small chair? Do you
You
what?
sit on the ground. I mean,
You just
you're
sit on the
supposed
ground.
to be. I'm a nurse practitioner, retired, so we know. We've been telling everybody medically to move. You've got to move your joints. So you just start tying your shoelaces. Bend over and tie your shoelaces. You know, pick up the tissue that's on the floor, and you just move, and you get more flexible. Even though you're growing older, you just become flexible if you work at it. And I sit on the ground, or I'm squatting on my knees, you know, being able to dig with a shovel, what have you. Yeah.
Bless
I
your
admire
heart.
Barbara for that because I sit on my tutu while I'm working. I'm an engineer by day, so that's 50, 60 hours a week of engineering on my tutu, and get out there, and it's Saturdays and Sundays we get out there and we work in the yard. And Barbara's so right. You got to get out there and work. The thing is that it's so much fun. My wife and I and our grandson will go work out in the yard and help things along the way. And sometimes it does help to have a spouse to, hey, can you pick me up off the ground?
Yeah.
So our backyard is just beautifully forested, lots of vegetation, and we call it Vatican City.
Really?
Yeah, because there's so many cardinals in there.
I was just so afraid to ask why.
When you have trees, you have birds.
Yeah,
That's
so
when
we
you're
have
listening
lots
to
of
the
birds.
songs, yes.
We have cardinals, bluebirds, blue jays, squirrels. Of
course.
They love the suet, so we use jalapeno suet, which keeps the squirrels away most of the time, but I think we got some Mexican squirrels in there. But the bottom line is the vegetation that we have. Our yard is beautifully landscaped because we put the time and effort into it. And this landscaping is not just from one person. It's a family affair. And so my wife and I are involved, our kids, our grandkids when they come over. And planting trees is something that is a great family entertainment value because you can look and see how tall that tree's been growing every year. And so we encourage people to come out and go to Arbor Day, pick up whether you want seedlings. We have 8 different varieties of oak trees you can pick up.
Oh, wow.
Potted trees. Thank you, Trees for Houston, for providing those to us for free so we can give those potted trees to the Conroe residents for free. But you got to plant, and each tree that you have has a tree card. And on the tree card, on the front, it tells you about what the species of the tree is, what it's going to be like, what it takes as far as light, moderate light, shade, what type of soil. And then on the back side of the card are the tree planting instructions. If it's a seedling, it's one way. If it's a potted tree, it's a different way. So you've got all that information there, and the master gardeners are there to answer every one of your questions.
That really is.
And even the
interesting.
Forestry Service there, too. We're all there to
Oh,
help.
and the Forestry Service is there
Yeah,
as well. Oh,
yeah.
cool. Well, it's interesting to me because there's nothing compares to when you're a child and you have gotten a seed from somebody, your family member, say, let's plant, and you put it in there at your school, a lot of times at school, and you plant that seed, and then you come back and it's sprouted. And the looks on those kids' faces and on my face when I saw that thing, that's what I planted. That's what it looks like. And it's just a magical moment for for children especially. And then whenever you grow up and you see these trees and then they're cut and you find out that you can count how old the tree is, and that was amazing. I mean, I loved that. And we lived on a property where the guy across the street said, "Your trees are 150 years old." And I said, "How do you know that?" He says, "We have to cut down trees, and when we cut them down, we count." And I said, "You mean that? Oh, I forgot about that. So you can count the rings." So I'd sit out there, they'd cut trees down, or a tree would fall, and I would try and count the rings on it. That's that just is amazing to me.
We have a subgroup called Junior Master Gardeners, and we go out to the schools. So we do have one of these big chunks of an oak tree with the rings that we bring to the Master Garden, to the Arbor Day. The kids can, count it and see it. Plus, we have stamps of different trees that the kids can, make their own tree stamp little cards of such and take home. We have posters there for them to look at. And both parents usually come with young families. They don't know anything about, so they both husband and wife are trying to learn too. So
Right.
it's we advise them, and then they can take what they've learned and go decide what they want to do. But
Well, and I think
we're there to help.
And you
basically.
forget, and like when you forget when you go and you pull a pine cone off of a tree, and all of a sudden Christmas happens, and you're going like, oh my goodness, this is where the pine scent comes from, Cindy. Okay. It's like, that's amazing. No, but it is. I think you can't stop learning about nature, because nature just like the change and how that happens, and it's amazing.
It is,
absolutely
yeah.
amazing. And so the fact that you guys are providing all of this stuff for everybody here,
Well, Ron started it for Conroe years ago. It was his idea, and then Master Gardeners, he asked to help. So let's give him all the kudos for getting it started.
well,
No?
please, oh,
So
Ron.
what's happening is now the Master Gardeners are taking over a program that was started years ago because I will eventually die, and I want this thing to continue on for generations after generations. And the Master Gardeners are the obvious choice. They have the enthusiasm, the passion, the desire to continue on something like this. And so we started years ago here in Conroe, and then they've taken this program and have expanded it over to the city of Willis. Kudos to them, because trees are just not our monopoly here. They're for everybody.
Right. I love that. And everybody can look at a tree. You don't have to own it, but you can enjoy the trees and all that. I went to Canada with my aunt and uncle, and I was 16 years old. Very boring, right? And drive. And all we saw were pine trees. But my aunt and uncle would go, look at those trees. Those oh, so beautiful trees. And I went, look, just like the trees across the street. And they go like, those so beautiful. And they would comment on every tree that we would go past. And I thought, is that what I'm going to be like when I'm old? That's what I'm going to do is think about the trees. But you feel like a tree that you planted when you first moved into a house. And then when you're getting old enough
That
to
your
go
child
to
grew up.
yeah, right. And that child grew up, and it is true. And people take pictures next to the tree, the kids of the tree, and then it goes on and on. And it's amazing. And so when a tree falls, and it was so sad because we named. Everybody had their own tree, and so this was my tree, and then when your tree falls because it's been hit by lightning, or split totally in half when it was hit by lightning, I forgot whose tree that was, but it split right in half, and just half of it fell down, the other half thrived. It started thriving, and I was going like, oh my goodness.
Split personality. Huh?
It's split personality. It was, but it's exciting, and I always want to go to the redwoods, see the redwoods, how big they were, because you see them in movies. And I think that's as close as I'll probably get. But those trees were amazing, and then to find out that the trees get shorter as you go up a mountain. The trees aren't as tall, and that was interesting. And there's always a reason for anything that happens to them. That's been inputted into them, programmed into them, what they do or where they end up.
Anytime you look at a tree, think that's the air it's putting out that I am breathing. It takes in the dirty air and puts out oxygen for us to breathe.
Well, it's a matter of perspective, because what you're putting out to a tree is dirty air, and they're cleaning it up.
Well, I'd like to.
But who else gives oxygen? What kind of oxygen? But still,
Well, I have to
not
tell
carbon
you,
dioxide. Do you want to breathe?
if in Willis, when y'all are going down to Willis and you see the new HEB, and down that road where they annihilated all those trees, you just have to gasp for air because it's not there anymore, and you just feel that's what you feel like. You just could y'all just left like maybe 2, levels of those lines of those trees, because it's just all you're doing is just seeing all that dirt is going to be mud and pretty soon. And so that it's interesting to know how important it is to take care of your trees. And there's a radio program that talks about trees, and you get somebody out there to look at your tree and all that. And so, and we'd have trees that would be leaning like this, and I'd tell my husband, I said, that tree doesn't look real good. And it's a tree. It'll take care of itself. And I said, I think we need an expert to come talk to us about this tree. And but there were so many trees, and he said, listen, let nature take care of itself. It'll be fine. And there's no trees that are too close, and if it starts a forest fire, then we, and all that. But it really is like a career when you start getting into gardening and staying outside in nature. It's in Texas, though, sometimes it's difficult because of the heat whenever.
Well, that's why you need a tree, so you're not so hot.
That's right, for shade.
You gotta,
Yes.
so the air conditioning bill is going to be lower if you've got shade to cool the house.
Over the house.
Yeah.
Now, see, that's what I said. My husband would say, it could fall on the house, but we can't plant it that close to the
It
house.
does drop leaves on your roof. That's why you have a grandson to blow
I was
off
going
the
to say a
roof.
teenager you can hire.
Yes. So,
It gives jobs.
So
Yes.
from the perspective of what's happening on Arbor Day, it is the basis, one of 4 criteria for Conroe to have gotten a Tree City USA designation by the National Arbor Foundation. And so we take care of that one element, and city staff actually will go down into Houston and pick up the potted trees for us on Thursday of this week and bring it to us at Founders Plaza. They'll be putting up the tents for us for various organizations that'll be out there. And we even have somebody from the Houston-Galveston Area Council coming to talk about watersheds.
Good grief. That's
So
great.
this is a very diverse program that we're
Yeah.
putting on. Each year it gets bigger, it gets better, and you've got a lot of smiling master gardeners out there. But this tree program that the city is involved with, Arbor Day was one of the essentials, and we got that started. Then we persuaded the city of Conroe to have to donate at least $2 per person every year for tree maintenance. Well, they found out how easy that was. Then they have to have a program to preserve trees, and then they have another program to manage the tree assets that the city has on the public right-of-ways and parks and open spaces.
Well, see, that just makes everybody feel safer, and because we love our police, police and the firemen and all that. First responders are great, but it's also, think about the trees being provided for maintenance and all that, so that they don't, burn up the city. So it's good to know that all this is going on, that this is happening.
We've wisened up. The cities have really wisened up. The population has wisened up.
Yeah,
So we're all
yes.
pushing together to have a better environment that we live in.
Well,
for
now-
us and our children.
Where this is happening is right across, or right from next to Owen Theater.
Correct,
downtown.
in Founders Plaza in historic downtown Conroe. And there's
Historic.
and lots of free parking around there. And if you don't show up, some of these master gardeners are going to go out in the streets with these 2-foot high and 4-foot wide signs and free trees.
Yeah,
Arbor
we
Day.
do want you to
Yes,
come. I
we
know it's
do.
going to be cold, but we're going to be out there. I mean, the weather is the weather, what have you. So we're ready to go, raring to go.
I think
Low
we're
of
going to-
36 and a high of 56
I heard
degrees.
32.
Yeah,
It could be 32.
Well, it depends.
But no,
Where
when
it is,
y'all are there,
the thermometer is. Yeah,
it'll
we'll
be
be
warming
there.
up. It'll
Yeah.
be warming up by
It'll-
the time that
It'll
people
all
start
start
coming.
at 8 on Saturday morning. We're gonna. It's gonna take us an hour or so to set up. I mean,
Yeah.
But the city puts up the tables and the tents and what have you, and then we get all the trees out. But yeah, by 8 o'clock, bring your coffee cup.
So if
start
you-
walking down there or come in the car.
You can
the
come down
kids.
Main, and Main runs into the
Founders Plaza. Yes.
Founders Plaza.
Right there adjacent to the railroad tracks, 239.72 feet north of the railroad tracks.
And there's so many places to eat, and
yes.
stuff
And they're
to
open on
do.
Saturdays. Yes,
And what?
they're open. The businesses
Oh,
are
sure.
open on Saturdays
Saturday,
downtown.
yeah.
Yes.
else, all kinds of food,
Right.
everything that you can think of. And after you find out, if they let you drag your tree into the restaurant, it'd be great.
No, you'll have to park it in your car.
You have to
Yeah.
park it in your car.
And then after we're all done with Arbor Day, the Houston Rodeo Parade starts up at 1 o'clock.
So hurry up and get across those streets that they're coming.
They're coming. Are they going to tell them 10,
No,
104?
watch the parade. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
No, it's just it just would not fail. I lived in Houston all my life. I grew up in Houston, and so when the rodeo came, you had to find out what time will they be, and so that I can get across there, because how many times you've waited, waved everybody and saw the horses and go like, "Can y'all get it going? Come on, go!" Especially around Memorial Park when they come, they'd all park there. So but that's going to be fun. Now there's going to be a parade in Conroe.
In Conroe, in downtown Conroe, coming right by our Founders Plaza. And so there'll be all kinds of fun floats and horses and...
So that's all happening at the same time?
No.
no, it starts at 1 o'clock.
Oh, at 1 o'clock the
The
parade
parade,
starts.
and then our Arbor Day is from 8 until noontime.
Yeah, so y'all
So
will
it's a
just be...
family affair downtown.
There you go. There you go. Y'all have time to go eat lunch and then get out there and watch the parade.
That's
Yes.
right.
That's
right.
Conroe is amazing. They have so many activities for families, and if you have an activity for a family, they will come. It's just like, that's where you get people and a crowd, is have something that the kids are enjoy, the adults enjoy, and y'all are doing it. Y'all are providing all
Yeah,
of
we
that.
all want the community to come down to Conroe. This is where our city is. Let's let Conroe grow. A few
Yes.
years ago, we were always having Texans, go Texan Parade or Parade downtown, and it kind of stopped for a couple of years. So this is the first year back. So I'm hoping we get a lot of kids that you
good.
bring your children downtown. Come look at our trees. Let the kids see the horses and the wagons and what have you, and just have a good, fun morning, early afternoon.
Let's go.
That's right. Let's
just
go.
go get started and get that going.
Yeah, this is a great dream. But I have another dream, too.
Oh, what is that?
So I'm working with Conroe Parks Department, and we're setting up wildflower vistas that are going to be planted throughout the city in public rights-of-way. So the bluebonnets are coming back in another year.
Oh, but you have wildflowers.
Wild thing. Yeah, I think I love you.
Wildflowers that's going to be planted in different places.
And different
downtown?
long stretches of roads.
Okay.
So that you can have the bluebonnets there, and we'll probably get the master gardeners involved. Barbara, I haven't told you about this one yet.
We give you the seeds. You just spread the seeds. That's how the bluebonnets grow.
Oh my
from
goodness.
seeds. Yeah.
And to see all those people taking pictures out there.
Oh, I know it.
It's
I love
so
those
great.
hillsides with the kids are there, the family's taking the pictures. Yes, it's so nice. Yes.
Yeah. It's wonderful. And I hadn't seen, well, I haven't been there in a while, because it used to be covered. I mean, just covered. The bluebonnets just covered it until everybody started walking out into them and taking pictures with them. But it was beautiful along 45. And that's about all that's beautiful along 45, because 45 has gotten,
Pretty busy.
pretty busy.
It's a concrete jungle out there.
Yeah. But you
And
can go to farm to market 8:30. We've got them off of 8:30. That's between Conroe and Willis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about on the south side? How about on 336?
It's 336
South,
is one of the
maybe some-
vistas
yeah,
I'm
by
looking
Cedar
at.
Creek, Cedar
Well,
Park.
from I-45 westward on working in that area, and also north along Fraser from South Loop 336, and they'll be along FM 3083. There'll be some nice wildflower vistas there, but that's coming in a year or so.
So when you guys see these flowers, just think of Ron and Barbara.
Right.
And Ron came up with the idea, and Barbara just said, "What?"
He asked for help, and we said yes. So
gonna do
we have
what?
grown up together, yes.
That's
And
good. How
Master
long have y'all known
Gardeners
each
have
other?
expanded, right. So we are really much into Arbor Day now.
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yeah.
How long have y'all known each other?
14 years? 15
14,
years?
15
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and
We
you're
can't go on a meeting like this.
No.
I know, really.
We're both
And tr-
married.
Not to each other, though.
Right.
I love that. That's good, because you let's see, 14 years ago or 15 years ago, how old would y'all be?
That's not fair, is it?
You
Over
know,
50.
Over 50.
I was over 65.
Over 65. Okay. So I just want to be remembered when you met and that kind of stuff, and that how you had this in common, and how this, does your husband and wife, do they have this in common with you guys?
I retired, and when we moved up here from Clear Lake, so we came to be on the lake. So I did not want to stay home cleaning house. So I loved the garden.
Amen, brother.
And that's how I got started. And then we had a gentleman who was our master gardener leader, and you contacted him, I believe, and that's how Tom Leroy told us in the gardens that there would be an Arbor Day. Who would want to be involved? So I raised my hand, and that's how I got started.
That's so cool.
So he's a horticulturist that's passed the word along that there was going to be an Arbor Day. So
Horticulturist, that's what I was trying to, that's who I gave that dying air fern to. I couldn't remember what his title was, but I'm so happy there are people like you, and that keep the vegetation going, and hopefully, and it does make me sad when they cut down so many trees. And so,
but let me tell you,
when
we built our house, I said, I don't want any trees down. They said, oh, Barb, they're not going to live. I said, just leave them there. And it was elms. I had a lot of elms in the backyard. And they did not live because the soil being moved damages their roots. And so they eventually died. So I can see in some respect why they kind of clear the land around the house of trees. But if you had a lot of property, you could keep those trees on the outside of that property.
Right.
But with the smaller subdivision lots now, they can't really do that. So that's why we're here, to give you some trees for free. And
right.
Whether they be the babies or the ones that's been settled, lived for about a year in a pot. To get them started.
They really will become an addition to the family.
Yeah, and that's going to be your child. You put that baby out there and you start
take
taking care of it.
You take care of it. You're like, oh, I've got 5 children. I've got to take care of these trees, for crying out loud. No, but it really does. You guys are bringing awareness and opening people's eyes, and hopefully somehow, some way, California gets a sniff of this and goes like, do you want to not have fires? The wind can blow, and if it's not blowing, all this trash and stuff like that, that's going to help you guys. And even I can understand, when I understand stuff and I go like, something's wrong here, because if I'm understanding this, then it's really wrong. But
let me also add that we have a special event coming up. America 250 is coming. And so on March the 23rd, by the Heritage Museum, the Liberty Tree will be planted.
Oh, yes.
And it'll be an oak tree, about 20 foot tall. And what happened on March the 23rd, 1775? I know you knew it off the top of your head. It was Patrick Henry when he said, give me liberty
or give me
death.
I thought you said trees, but okay, no. That's right.
So that's coming up March the 23rd. And there's lots of other America 250 events coming up.
And that's all going to be down,
that's going to be in Heritage Park.
Heritage Park, yeah.
Heritage Museum over in Candy Cane Park, excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. A lot of people, may pass that by and just go swing on the swings or walk on the walk.
Have you been to the Heritage Museum?
Of course. The Cochran House?
Yes.
Making headlines in the paper, yes.
So I'm on the board for the Heritage Museum. I love history because it's the only time you can gossip and get by with it.
No, I went in there and I was like, I called my mother-in-law and said, okay, we're Cochrans. Are we Cochrans from Conroe? And she said, we do have relatives, but we've never studied them or anything like that. But there's a Cochran house there, and there's and we love that place. And they lived in Conroe. Yes. And so I thought, there's where we need to move so I don't have to spell my last name all the time. And so they, she said, just ask around, talk, when you go to that museum, look and see all the Cochrans and all that.
Ask Catherine Walker. She is a direct descendant of the Cochrans, and she's on the Heritage Museum board.
Ah.
Okay, so there's your in.
Yeah.
But getting back to our Arbor Day.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
So
come prepared.
Okay.
Bring your wagons, bring your kids, bring your grandkids, bring your grandparents, and come to Conroe for this Saturday, starting at 8 o'clock. Get your trees, do a little bit of shopping in downtown.
Yes.
Sweet Texas treasures. That's for the estrogen in those women that love to go shop.
Oh, that's a perfect place.
It is a
I mean,
great place.
downtown looks like a movie set anyway.
It has been used in the movie sets.
Right, and it's so. I mean, I love the architecture and all that stuff, and there's so much history down that street.
And if you notice, all the buildings are brick cladding for fire protection.
That's right. That's right. That's not going to happen to them again, for sure.
That's right. We learn from our mistakes. So California,
Yeah, learn from your mistakes. That's right. That's all you have to do. It's
Come
so
down
easy.
to eat, bring your chair to sit and watch the parade.
Yeehaw!
Just enjoy the day, and then go home.
And then go home and go, why don't we have any trees, Mommy? Let's go plant some trees.
Yeah.
even if you have an apartment, there is such thing as a pot. You plant your tree in the pot and let it grow. And when you eventually move from that apartment to a home, a
you
single
go.
family home, you've got your
That you
tree
can take
that
with
you can
you.
plant.
I know.
But it's been sitting on the porch in the back. I mean, outside,
Yes.
not in the house. It's got to be outside to get some
Well,
sun.
if it gets too
Got to get
cold.
sun. Well, you can cover it or bring it in. You're gonna baby this baby if you
And
want to
which,
keep
by the
it.
way, your tomatoes, I raise tomatoes in large pots above ground.
You did.
I do that, and make sure you get Romas because the flowers will set when the nighttime temperatures are above 70 degrees because most of the tomatoes will not have their flowers set when we have our nice warm humid nights.
I think I would rather build a hothouse and hire someone to come in and put those, because I love the tomatoes, the squash, and all the vegetables and stuff would be so much fun.
HEB aisle 5.
What?
HEB aisle 5. Tomatoes, squash.
Yes.
Yeah.
I keep telling them, you guys are gonna name an aisle after me, right? I spend so much money in this place. You guys have got to do something like that because I love them. They keep their fresh produce looking fresh.
Yeah, the Cochran corner.
The Cochran corner. Yeah, that's it. Let me write that down. Listen, I got to tell y'all, thank you so much for coming. That hour has just gone by so quickly. I can't believe
Remember, Master Gardener website, plant sales are coming up in March, September, and October, and you can come and visit us and buy plants too that we raise.
it. You know how to get those.
Yeah,
Yes,
always
right.
look at the
You-
website. There's all
always.
kinds of things that'll tickle your interest. And
Right.
you might want to come.
But
So, yeah.
get out.
So please
get
come to
out
Arbor
and come
Day.
by. Arbor Day.
Conroe and Willis.
Arbor Day. Let the growing begin.
Yes.
Yes, springtime is coming. It's so exciting. Okay, guys, thank you, Barbara, thank you, Ron, so much for coming. I appreciate y'all, and it's been a fun Tuesday. So, and Richard hadn't said anything. I was so excited.
TGIT.
Yes, he's. Oh, yeah. So
Thank God it's Tuesday.
Thank God it's Tuesday. Yes. That. Oh, great. Oh, how cute. Okay. Now, do y'all have them outside?
No, I just got them with me.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process of helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.